that we see from both teams. It's a bit of a mirror matchup to be had. May the best team win it, because if you win this match, you're into the Summer Champs playoffs. Will it be Complexity? Will it be BBG? We'll find out right now.
We get to find out right here. And if you're BBG, I think your talks between the match was, guys, we got to not go down 9-3. We got to not go down 7-5. Let's go into the half with a lead, because we know what we can do coming in with the deficit. But imagine if we had a couple more rounds in our back pocket to play with. Maybe we close out these games in a quicker fashion. It's BBG on the attack. SoaR queued up with a guiding light here, waiting to quite possibly hear something. And, well, should he toss this one out, he will find 3. Unfortunately, might just be caught in a bad spot. The Stars might give it away. To push around the corner. He is caught out. Will's able to find that frag. It's Will on the jet this time around. As SoaR falls, the A site opened up. AGM forced to back away. The door will close. Well, through the smoke, AGM good for once. The number's even, but only for just a moment. As Complexity hop on the fragging train. They picked up a couple more than BBG could. And now a player ahead as the shock darts traded out. The Sova's looking to go to work, trying to turn the odds, turn the tides. But they just can't do it just yet, as Rarkar, 69 HP, chipped away at, cannot heal. And there's 2 players to worry about out towards heaven. Whereas AGM has the crunch out towards door, still low in HP. Gravity well going to come on through, not going to find too much value. The shots are going to go wide as well. AGM, here comes the crunch, here comes the pinch, and it works out beautifully for Complexity.
That it does, Cole. What a retake. I mean, you gotta give some credit to AGM there, because he had the discipline to not greed for the trade on OOKERS. He knew that it would have been a 1 versus 3, so he decides to play the percentages. Fall back, play passive, and work with the team on the retake. His utility as well helps to delay, and while on that work back in, he was able to find 3 frags across the board. Bjor's lurk turned wrong there, as he was only able to pick up 1 frag, and then it's just an excellent little pinch to find the final 2 frags there. Start Complexity needed, especially considering these last couple maps have been rough for them in way of pistol rounds.
Going into the next one for BBG, I believe it was only a ghost that they had to play with. Try and get some extra damage. It's going to be Bjor piloting that pistol. We'll see if it's good for anything at the very least. Once more, damage the name of the game in these anti-eco rounds. The owl drone going to be used. Not spotting anything just yet, but as it crests around the corner, it will do just that. It not only spots the Killjoy, but the player that shot it down. The 2 out towards B. Didn't quite call for a rotation just yet. Now the spike down in a tough spot as well. Has assumed the site, but does not have the spike in hand. It's out towards A main, and they're just going to run him down. The jet will fall, and well, you did damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't economy damage just yet. As Rarkar hops on for 1. It's Valen to fall, but a near flawless anti-eco will find Complexity 2 rounds in the lead.
That it will. Nice little duo to get things rolling. I mean, that's what you want if you're Complexity, especially off of that last map that could have been just a little bit rough for you, despite coming out on top in the end. But here we go. We get to see the weapons in the hands of BBG. We see Bjor on that Odin. Not a lot of Killjoys play the Odin, but Bjor has for a while now, and I'm a fan of it. This map, it's made of paper mache, and when you're rocking the Odin instead of the Sova, it allows you to capitalize off those darts instantaneously. You don't have to worry about pullout time. The second you have information, you can get that spam going. Love to see what he can get done, as it's the LMG on the opposite side with the Ares, and it's a drone up towards mid to show J-Crow.
J-Crow look for something cheeky there. Unfortunately, Frenzy just didn't quite have the range. It's Will so incredibly close to a backstab here. Might just get backstabbed himself. SoaR leaps away. Will is there to answer. J-Crow looking for more as AGM goes through the cloudburst. The dash away, but the reposition not good as AGM picks up 1, but it's traded right back. J-Crow, who once had a Frenzy, now has a Spectre and a couple of kills in his back pocket. It's all up to Trill, who picked up an ace clutch earlier in the series. Now, at the very least, has 3 kills ahead of him, and unfortunately, spiked down quite a bit ahead of him as well.
It's going to be a tough one. Still, the armor favors him. The health favors him. He needs this initial frag. There is isolated for 1 versus 1, but he doesn't even need to trach it. It's the robbery, finds the spike, but Valen will eventually swing on out and put all the treachery to an end. Complexity win their bonus round and go up 3-0.
Yeah, that's a pretty great feeling because you've got the upgraded weapons for the members that remained alive, which was 3 here at the end. It's not going to be too bad to, I guess, invest for the team around you. You take a look at the credits, and I mean, it's looking pretty darn good across the board for Complexity. It forces BBG back down onto a lesser buy, and I mean, BBG coming into the series, they had the longer day. This is going to be their 6th game on the day, which is only 1 more than Complexity, but that extra hour, we know how long. When you say, okay, I'm going to go 1 more game, then you just get absolutely demolished, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't go 1 more game. I should have just called it on that last one. Unfortunately for BBG, they don't have that luxury. They have to go into it here. And, well, backs against the wall, looking to go down into the lower bracket. They're 3 rounds behind and a player behind in the 4th.
Another slow one here for BBG. They like taking their time. They like playing their defaults, but it's not really much of a default. It's all out towards B. They've just cut noise, and they're just getting cut down. AGM has picked himself up 2, and I mean, even another swing coming forward. AGM for 3. It's Trill alone. He'll find a shot. He'll find a second Trill. No way. This shouldn't be possible, right? Yeah. Oh, hi to assure it and to pull Complexity to 4.
I mean, Trill's been pretty standout. So finding a couple of kills there, again, it's tough because the Complexity economy is looking pretty good. But how many times have we seen games? We get a replay there. 4 rounds deep, almost 5, and BBG have called themselves a timeout. So I think this is a pretty good time to do it. We usually see it a bit later, you know, 8 to 10 rounds into a half, which sometimes feels a bit too late. But it's BBG back on the bye. Come out of this timeout. But how many times do we see games where it might seem one-sided in terms of rounds, but because everybody is basically dying on both sides, that the economy gets incredibly weird, right? So it's that economic damage, it matters so much. Those 2 kills there, it just makes, you know, for a weaker Complexity, maybe not in this round, maybe not in the next, but in that round 3 where they would have had a bye, it might be a little less. So it's huge for Trill to find those frags. It's unfortunate that they can't find the rounds, but again, that's just, it's eco damage on an eco round.
Yeah, and those rounds, I mean, they are good for Complexity, and it's good the players who are farming here, because you have that Killjoy lockdown online nice and early. You have that Astrocosmic Divide online very early into this game. Those 2 ultimates are such a potent combination for the retake, and AGM and Valen, they can lean on into that. Setup is maybe changing just a tad here. Sky's still out towards B, and the Killjoy alarm bot actually placed towards mid. This will give a lot of freedom to J-Kroll, because he can start opping mid, but he can also fall, completely leave that position, and find himself a new angle. But this angle looks to be working for a moment. Now he'll be forced to dash away off the Owl drone.
Yeah, it's huge. That's utility for utility, but we know just how strong that tailwind is for a Jet player. So to have that one taken off for the minus 400 is a big pickup for BBG, and it's going to force J-Kroll to be smarter about the fights and the angles that he's taking. And, well, you don't have to be too smart about that one as Bjor tries to leap away. He has to answer to the operator. Now J-Kroll, 1 frag away from having that dash back online. Zakil traded back across the map, but Brock is there to trade. And, well, speaking of across the map, J-Kroll has been just about everywhere here on Ascent. Well, the damage has been done thus far in the tailwind. Now back online for the Jet. Means he can play aggressively here in the 4v2 retake. And as that spike gets planted, BBG, they've got a whole lot of work to get done. Just a little bit to work with.
They want to take a duel here. Ready for that door to break. They'll swing off it, try and find a nice early frag. Door goes down, blind comes through. Brock finds one. It's Trill to trade on out. He'll need to find his clutch. He's picked up 2. Now 2 remaining. The operator trained on his angle and AGM up high. They knew he had to make a play, so they just sit down, hold for a moment, and find themselves 5 in a row.
Trill has been, I mean, in defeat here in 5 rounds. Trill has been impressive in finding some frags in situations where he should absolutely not. And as we take up, that right there is a rough way to start the round, especially when you're thinking to yourself, nice. We have a small victory, right? We got J. Cruel's Tailwind. Will not have a dash later. And then you just never put him in a position to need that dash. He eventually gets it back online. And even then, still never has to use it again. So a tough place for BBG. And an even tougher spot in this round is they're on the upgraded pistols. Bjor, the only player with anything in hand. And it's immediately spotted out. They've got the Spectre out towards B main. The knives online. This is looking like a quick take. And oh, there's just no answer for J. Cruel just yet as the flash goes through. There's the dash inside the Cloudburst. The answer here is OHI keeping his Jet alive. Good for 2 as J. Cruel takes another shot. He backs away. That buddy system to keep the Jet alive. It's just working so darn well for Complexity. As he backs away to the site, AGM is here, and they close it out. Complexity looks so good on Ascent, Mimi.
Yeah, they look absolutely perfect. I mean, the setup towards B main is so well orchestrated. You have that first contact taken by J. Cruel. He'll find a shot. He gets blinded, so falls away. And then first contact falls to OHI. He reflashes, counters out that positioning that BBG might have been able to find off the blinded Jet. And then he's just able to pick up 2 of his own. That allows the dash back. And while OHI dies, AGM next up to bat. It's just there's always gonna be 2 players ready for you wherever you go. If you're BBG and the flash turns the wrong direction, the molly hits their feet. This main control is looking strong for Complexity.
And if you're BBG, this is not the attacking half you're hoping to have. You can only fight for an even half, and it's been 6 in a row for Complexity, so that seems a bit out of question. As Trill the first to fall, Valen 3 on the round. What we were seeing a little bit in that last one was the rounds were getting close and BBG was getting shaky. We jump into this next one where it's, you know, winner's bracket qualification on the line. And Complexity, I mean, they just look so ice cold as J. Cruel looks for more. He's gonna find it. A flawless round for Complexity to find their 7th. And Mimi, I mean, another timeout, sure, but what do BBG do here?
I mean, they don't even have another timeout. They've already used their one for the half. It's not available. They are stuck in. They have to figure this one out on their own and try and fix this. But Complexity, you can just feel the confidence from their gameplay. Because, no, we don't just take A main control. We take B main control. We have that alarm bot out towards mid. They own the whole map within 15 seconds of that round starting. And BBG just never had a counter for it. Now BBG, well, they're going to put stock into fighting out towards B main in this round, but how much does that even mean? Because that's been given away. Instead, it's mid that's being emphasized for Complexity. It's a defense that is ever adapting.
AGM Sheriff out for a second. Position's gonna be revealed, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't even need to peek to find the frags. The Seekers go through. Will finds one. Unfortunately, some friendly fire sits him down, and AGM, he was spotted, but goes unanswered on the round. He will find 4, and Complexity will push to 8.
You know, the team heal from Poach, it was just to deny the ace.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
All good. No problems whatsoever. This is just absolutely beautifully played from AGM. Seekers are popped. They all line up, and it's just a spray down 4-3 is Molly to find the 4th, and 8 rounds in a row now. That was the eco for BBG, but the best they're hoping for is an 8-4 half, and that would take them not only reversing this momentum, but going flawless for the rest of their attacking side, which realistically, I don't know how doable that is with how strong Complexity is looking right here, right now.
And when you take a look, I mean, it's 14-2 on AGM. I believe it was 9-3 on the next player, 9-2 on the one below that, right? BBG are just, I mean, they're failing to find these frags. They're struggling to find these kills. And sure, the lockdown is going to force them off the site. Not a whole lot of... No way. AGM, I mean, that right there is just a complete oversight by Bjor to put that lockdown there, expecting it to not get answered, and all it takes is a few sheriff shots to penetrate the ultimate.
Yeah. 5v5 still. It's a slower round in this one as BG maybe trying to posture something out towards mid. The spike rotating in that direction, but it's a 3-strong setup towards the A site. No real pressure towards mid for Complexity. I know the BBG isn't putting a lot of emphasis into it, so they'll just leave that alarm bot to hold.
30 seconds left.
Bjor still hovering out towards the B site to try and keep attention here. It will be a 4v3 in the direct vicinity of the A site. Recon Bolt gonna be covered by the Cloudburst, and Nebula is gonna force him to fight right through it. We go back and forth and across the map. Bjor will fall. The rest of his team will follow. And it's Complexity now 9-0. It's insult to injury, Mimi. It's the lockdown that gets sprayed down through the wall. It's BBG. They just cannot find a minute to breathe here on Ascent.
Yeah, and I mean, that stranglehold you're talking about, that's exactly what we saw on that take out towards the A site. They wanted to pop up their Cosmic Divide and fight past it, but Complexity just says no. They go straight through it. Hold 3 strong on the other side, and BBG just walks straight into a meat grinder. Bai is rough in this one. They're forcing up. They know that they need these rounds, but it's desperation. You lose this one, money's gonna be looking even worse.
Brock the drone out towards mid. Doesn't spot anything. A couple of players leaning out that way, so at the very least, a small victory for BBG. They don't get spotted in where they want to play. So Rarkar, spike in hand, is crossed. We'll look to take this one out towards A once more. Not a whole lot of utility to stop him here, but I mean, who needs utility when you're shooting as good as Valen is here? Only needing the Vandal. As the dart goes through, flash on the other side. Valen gonna go wide on the shot. Dash. And the reveal onto a couple of players, but everybody stays alive for now as they funnel on through the tree room. Now looking to get up into heaven. The Seekers come through. The op shot gonna split the uprights. Well, Valen is there for 2. Make it 3 as Brock will fall. The numbers just about evened up, but here comes AGM on the flank. Now Bjor needs to find a flank of his own, and he just can't do it. It's Valen, it's AGM to find all 5 and double digits here for Complexity.
They forced into that round too. Oh god, BBG, they cannot catch a break. You think early on, right? You go 4 rounds down, you call the tap. This is our time to turn the ship around. And then it's just momentum upon momentum. Valen somehow, someway, is able to find that flank, pick up 3 off of it, and will catapult Complexity to an even crazier scoreline. Will is buying a Bucky, full armor, on attacker's side. Okay, he will relent from that purchase, but things are not looking good for BBG, and I imagine in the BBG camp, things are not feeling too good either.
That's a pretty tough start. It's damage through the wall, out from screens, or out from catwalk, I should say, excuse me, into tiles.
Spike down.
Zohai finishes the kill off onto Poach. The Hunter Shuri won't be around here in this round. Bjor is able to find one, but it's only one thus far, and that is, I mean, one of very few kills that BBG have found. It's, I mean, a mental boom is what it seems like here for BBG as they just struggle to find anything. They're just running at this Complexity squad. 4-4-4-3-3. That is the kills. Everybody
Yikes.
on 11 deaths. I mean, it's, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. This just feels like BBG are exhausted on the day.
I don't know if it's just me, but am I the only one who feels like maybe, just maybe Complexity want to qualify quickly?
It does seem that way. They're maybe a little upset that BBG has made this a 3-game series rather than their 2-game series that they had previously. And again, there's insult to injury. It's just a lob on the shock dart over the top, expecting somebody to be there, and that's exactly where that drone was coming from. So right off the rip, again, they take a bit of damage in BBG. It is going to be healed up. And the Hunter Shuri coming on through. The operator not spotted just yet. The shots go wide as Valen finds one. Brock is there to back the squad up. It's Bjor to fall on the flank. And while we're nearing a flawless round, as I say it though, Trill continues to impress, finding 2 on the round from downtown with the Spectre, now looking to find some more. But a lockdown, gonna keep BBG at bay. Now Trill needs to fight forward. It's low HP. It's a couple of pistols around the corner. And it's Brock to close things out with the 3K. It's Complexity, 12-0 at the half. And we'll see if they can go flawless here after this short break. I may have spoke too soon when I said a dominant half for Complexity on Icebox because it gets better. 12-0 here, Mimi. We had a halftime break for what could be one round to 13-0. This is the first time I'm saying it, maybe in hopes to deny it. That way BBG can hop on the board. But it all comes down to this.
Yeah, this is the chance for Complexity to close this out nice and quickly. It's a drone up towards mid. It's BBG getting aggressive towards mid, a bit of their own. Rarkar, the flash queued up, but he'll go back to the ghost, waiting for the moment as the dark does reveal him. Flash forward, a cloudburst to support, but the cloudburst, I think, catches the edge of the bird, finds no impact.
And fortunately for Rarkar there, this is pistol round, so there's no real penetration to get through that wall. So although being spotted, just took a bit of utility to sneak him out so he could cross. There was no real fear, no real threat of getting wall banged out towards mid. Now Complexity set their sights on the A site. They'll dash on through. Bjor still going undetected underneath heaven. Nobody falling just yet, but damage taken across the map as we go 1-for-1 on the trade. It's Rarkar with a nice flash. His poach trades back another frag, but it's answered back once more. Now it's all up to Trill, who's low on health, and Complexity have done it. Not only have they qualified for the playoffs in the round of 16, they've done it in 13-0 fashion here on Ascent.
Well, that was a speed run, to say the least. Such a close series, such a hard-fought series, and then BBG just ran out of energy. The steam engine had no more steam, and well, they just got absolutely obliterated. Complexity looking incredibly strong. They are a team who had a lot to prove going into this, and now they've just gotten that little bit closer as they've made playoffs. And for BBG, I mean, I kind of feel bad for them because it has been two very long series, and now they're gonna have to play another BO3 if they want to stay alive.
Yeah, now they're gonna have to play. That's, I feel like, the worst part, because I was not expected BBG to look the way they did. And maybe we're harping too much on BBG looking bad and not giving enough credit to Complexity just looking so incredible. It was, everything was unanswerable. It's the reason that I lean a bit more on BBG just having a really rough game, being incredibly exhausted on the day, is this game is kind of how their last few rounds of Icebox looked, where they're shaky in the fights, they're not really ready for anything or prepared for anything. It's that you run through a corner and